Chosen one, stop scrolling. Still your mind. Listen, because what you're about to hear is not a message, it's a moment. Heaven has interrupted your timeline to deliver a warning that your spirit already feels, but your mind keeps trying to silence. This is not random. This is not algorithm. This is God saying, enough. I've been patient long enough. Now it's time to move. You've been asking for signs. You've begged for confirmation. You said, God, if this is you, speak clearly. And now here it is. The message you've been sensing in your dreams, in your restlessness, in that strange heaviness you can't explain. You are standing at a spiritual crossroads, and what you do after hearing this will define more than a season. It will define your story. For too long, you've been standing in between obedience and delay, knowing what God told you to do, but hesitating because you're afraid of what it will cost. You've been negotiating with purpose, trying to obey partially while still keeping control. But heaven doesn't work through half surrender. God is warning you now. If you keep ignoring the pull, you will lose what He designed for you. This message is coming with urgency because grace has an expiration date for inaction. The window is closing. The opportunity you've been praying for is right in front of you. But if fear keeps you standing still, the season will shift without you. And later, when you look back, you'll understand why your spirit kept trembling during moments like this. It was heaven shouting, "Move before it's too late." Chosen one, you can't afford to repeat cycles anymore. You've seen the same patterns over and over, the same distractions, the same emotional traps, the same doors that almost opened but never did. That's not coincidence. That's consequence. Every time you ignore instruction, you reset the clock. Every time you doubt your calling, you delay your breakthrough. God isn't punishing you. He's waiting for you to align. There's something God asked you to start, and you didn't. There's something He told you to walk away from, and you still haven't. There's someone He told you to forgive, to release, to confront. But you keep saying soon. Heaven's silence lately hasn't been absence. It's been grief. God can't give new orders until you obey the last ones. This is your moment of decision. If you hear this and turn away again, life will move on. But purpose will not. You'll still wake up, still breathe, still survive. But you'll feel that ache in your soul every time you sense something missing. That ache is regret. Not because God left you, but because you refused to follow when He called. Don't wait for comfort to start walking. The path won't get easier, but it will get clearer. You keep asking for a map when God already gave you a compass, obedience. You don't need to understand every step. You just need to take the first one. Heaven is waiting for your movement, not your explanation. Chosen one, you've been chosen to shift the atmosphere, but you can't do that if you stay where you are. You were not built for the crowd, the comfort, or the compromise. You were built for obedience. You were designed to move by faith, not sight. That's why this message found you now, because this is your final warning before the release. There is power on the other side of your yes. There is freedom on the other side of your surrender. But there is also loss on the other side of delay. If you ignore this voice again, life will feel heavier, not because God is cruel, but because you'll be carrying what was meant to be left behind. So listen, not with your ears, but with your soul. God is saying, You ask me to change your life, but I can't until you change your posture. You won't get another message this clear. Heaven doesn't repeat what it already confirmed. The next silence won't be punishment. It will be consequence. Chosen one, this is the moment that separates the called from the chosen. You've prayed for breakthrough. Now it's demanding your obedience. Hear this or regret it for the rest of your life. Because one day when you look back, you'll realize this was the moment when heaven tried to warn you before everything shifted. Chosen one, heaven has reached a point where silence is no longer mercy. It's warning. There are seasons when God whispers, and there are seasons when He interrupts. This is one of those moments. The air around you feels heavier because the spiritual timeline has accelerated. What once moved slowly is now colliding with destiny. You've entered a divine threshold, and heaven cannot allow delay to keep you in circles any longer. You've been sensing it, haven't you? That restless energy in your chest, the sudden emotion you can't explain, the feeling that something is about to happen, but you can't name it. That's not anxiety. That's divine urgency. Heaven is pressing on your spirit because the next phase of your assignment depends on what you do now. Every hesitation has consequences. Every delay shifts alignment. Every maybe later costs you time you don't realize you're losing. God has been patient, watching you wrestle between obedience and comfort. He has watched you start what He told you to finish, then stop halfway because fear disguised itself as logic. But this season has no room for hesitation. Heaven's plan is unfolding whether you feel ready or not. And the warning is clear. Move, or the window will close. You may not understand the magnitude of this moment, but heaven does. There are souls connected to your obedience. There are breakthroughs waiting on your yes. There are doors that will only unlock when your spirit aligns with divine timing. The longer you wait, the more resistance you invite. And God, in His mercy, is confronting that delay before it becomes disobedience. This urgency isn't punishment, it's protection. Heaven is speeding up the process because the world around you is shifting faster than you realize. The warfare has intensified. The distractions have multiplied. The enemy knows your potential and will use anything, comfort, fear, relationships, even fatigue, to keep you still. That's why this pressure feels personal. Because it is. You are the one heaven is calling out of hiding. Every chosen one reaches a moment when obedience becomes urgent. Not because God ran out of grace, but because destiny ran out of time. You've been equipped, refined, and stripped of everything unnecessary for this exact reason. What used to be optional has now become essential. What you used to delay has now become divine instruction. Heaven isn't asking anymore. It's declaring. Look around your life. Doors that once felt stable are shaking. People are leaving unexpectedly. Routines that once worked are crumbling. That's not chaos. That's divine rearrangement. God is removing everything that can't go where you're going. You've been praying for acceleration, but acceleration requires detachment. You cannot step into new assignments carrying outdated attachments. Chosen one, you are standing at a threshold, the narrow gate of obedience. To pass through it, you must release the old self completely. That means the excuses, the fear of failure, the dependency on signs. God has already confirmed this. You know what to do. Now heaven is saying, do it. This urgency is your wake-up call. Not everyone gets one this clear. If you ignore it, the world will look the same tomorrow, but your spirit will feel heavier. Because every time you resist divine timing, your soul carries the weight of what could have been. And that weight grows until obedience becomes the only release. But if you move, if you obey without delay, everything will shift. The clarity will return. The opportunities will align. The energy that felt stuck will flow again. That's how you'll know you've re-entered divine rhythm. God is not angry with you, chosen one. He's impatient for you. The same way a parent urges a child to take the next step before they fall behind, heaven is urging you forward. Not to scare you, but to save you. Because there's a version of you that's waiting on the other side of obedience. Powerful, peaceful, unshakable. This is your moment. Heaven is no longer waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to respond. Don't think. Don't negotiate. Don't delay. Move, speak, act. Say yes. Because in this hour, hesitation is rebellion, and obedience is your redemption. Chosen one, there are moments when God no longer speaks through words. He speaks through restlessness. You've been feeling it lately. That tension that won't let you relax, the quiet unease that follows you, even when everything seems fine on the surface. You've tried to pray it away, distract it, explain it, but it remains. That's because it's not worry. It's not confusion. It's communication. Heaven is speaking through the unease you keep trying to silence. When the spirit of a chosen one becomes restless, it's because divine timing has arrived, but obedience hasn't. You've outgrown where you are, yet you're still trying to fit inside it. Your environment hasn't shifted, but your spirit has. And that misalignment creates pressure. You can't rest in what used to satisfy you, because heaven is pulling you into what's next. This isn't punishment. It's promotion disguised as discomfort. God's restlessness is never random. It comes when the season has changed, but your movement hasn't. He begins to stir your atmosphere, close old doors, dry up old resources, and remove the peace from what you're not meant to stay attached to. That ache in your chest, that's your spirit saying, we can't stay here anymore. You keep asking, God, why do I feel unsettled? And heaven replies, because you're still sitting in what I've already moved past. The human mind wants stability, but divine purpose demands growth. You can't stay comfortable and expect transformation. That's why God disturbs your peace, not to harm you, but to heal you. The unease is sacred. It's heaven's way of saying, I'm ready to take you deeper. Think of your restlessness as a divine alarm clock. It doesn't ring to annoy you, it rings to wake you. And every time you feel that internal pull, it's not anxiety, it's assignment. God is telling you something new is ready to be born. But you must stop silencing the contractions. You must stop mistaking spiritual labor for emotional chaos. Chosen one, you're not broken, you're birthing. And like any birth, discomfort is proof that something alive is trying to emerge. The pressure you feel in your spirit isn't a sign of failure, it's evidence of proximity. You're close, closer than you realize, to a breakthrough that's been gestating for years. Pay attention to how the restlessness shows up. You'll notice patterns, old habits losing appeal, relationships feeling heavy, routines draining your energy. Things that once fit perfectly now feel foreign. That's not you being moody. That's heaven reshaping your frequency. You've ascended spiritually, and the lower energies of your past can no longer hold you. And here's the truth. If you ignore the restlessness, it will grow until it forces a reaction. Heaven will keep turning up the volume until obedience becomes your only option. That's why resistance hurts, because every moment spent outside of alignment stretches the soul. God will make comfort impossible until movement becomes inevitable. You might wonder, why doesn't he just tell me clearly what to do? He already has. He told you through intuition, through conviction, through silence that feels loud. God rarely repeats himself when the chosen one already knows. The restlessness is his final reminder before the shift. So don't curse the tension. Don't numb it with distractions. Don't drown it out with noise. Sit with it. Ask heaven what it's trying to reveal. Because inside that discomfort lies direction. Inside that silence lies strategy. You will notice that once you acknowledge the restlessness, instead of running from it, peace begins to reappear. Not because the situation changes, but because your spirit realigns. The moment you say, "Yes, God, I hear you," the heaviness lifts. That's how you know the message was received. Chosen one, this weekend, this week, this exact moment, your spirit is trying to speak louder than your logic. Don't ignore it this time. The unease is holy. The restlessness is a message. The tension is transition. When heaven stirs your soul, it's not to break you. It's to move you. You prayed for a sign. And this is it. Listen to the pressure. Because when God speaks through restlessness, he's not trying to trouble your peace. He's trying to prepare your purpose. Chosen one, ignoring the call of God is never neutral. It always costs something. You might not feel the loss immediately, but heaven keeps records of what was delayed, dismissed, or silenced. Every time you say, "Not now," a door that was meant to open begins to close. Every time you hesitate, the light that was meant to guide you starts to dim. The longer you wait to obey, the harder it becomes to hear. That's the hidden cost of ignoring divine instruction, the gradual dulling of spiritual sensitivity. You've wondered why clarity seems harder to find, why your prayers feel heavier, why the peace you once carried now flickers. It's because when you ignore what heaven reveals, your spirit begins to drift. You haven't lost God's presence. You've lost your position. He's still speaking, but you've moved out of frequency. Disobedience doesn't always look like rebellion. Sometimes it looks like delay. The enemy rarely needs to destroy you. He only needs to keep you waiting long enough to miss divine timing. Every later becomes a chain. Every soon becomes a snare. And by the time you realize it, you're surrounded by distractions disguised as opportunities, walking in circles that feel productive but lead nowhere. God has tried to reach you gently, through conviction, through restlessness, through repetition. But what happens when the chosen one keeps turning away? Heaven removes comfort. The doors stop opening. The blessings slow down. Not because he's angry, but because he loves you too much to let you prosper in the wrong direction. His silence becomes strategy. His distance becomes discipline. There's always a price to ignoring your calling, not in punishment, but in potential. The friendships that fade, the peace that feels distant, the strange fatigue that doesn't come from the body, all of it is the cost of resisting your purpose. You can't thrive in what God never told you to build. You can't rest in what you were never meant to carry. Every time you ignore His nudge, you're saying yes to weight that was never yours. Chosen one, you've been feeling it, the unease that follows comfort, the sense that no matter what you achieve, something is missing. That's not emptiness, that's destiny unfulfilled. You were designed for alignment, not applause. Until you return to obedience, no success will satisfy you. That's why God is confronting you through this message, to spare you from future regret. The truth is, heaven doesn't take away your assignment when you delay, it preserves it until you're ready. But preservation is not the same as progress. Every missed step pushes the timeline forward. Every delay requires restoration. And restoration always comes with cost. Time, energy, relationships, opportunities that could have been built sooner. There's a sadness heaven feels when a chosen one hides from purpose. Not anger, sadness. Because God knows what He placed inside you, and He can see how close you are to becoming it. Every moment you stay still, heaven whispers, if only they knew what's waiting on the other side of obedience. But here's the mercy. God's call doesn't expire. It evolves. He can still redeem the years, still reopen what you closed, still accelerate what you paused. The moment you say yes, alignment begins again. The heaviness lifts, the direction returns. The same God who called you in patience will restore you in power. So don't let fear keep writing checks that your future can't cash. Don't let pride pretend you're fine when your spirit knows you're drifting. The longer you wait, the more expensive it becomes to come back, not because of God's wrath, but because of what's lost along the way. The cost of ignoring the call isn't punishment, it's wasted potential. The most painful regret isn't what you did wrong, it's what you never did at all. Chosen one, the message is clear. Obedience may cost you comfort, but disobedience will cost you destiny. You've already paid enough for delay. Don't let hesitation rob you of another season. The call is still ringing. Answer it now, before what was once opportunity becomes memory. Why comfort is the enemy of purpose. Chosen one, comfort is the silent killer of calling. It feels safe, looks peaceful, and pretends to be stability. But in reality, it's the cage that keeps destiny from breathing. God never called you to live in comfort. He called you to live in clarity. And clarity only comes through movement, challenge, and surrender. Every time you choose comfort over conviction, you trade purpose for temporary peace. You were never meant to stay where it's easy. That's why the moments when everything seems calm, but your spirit feels uneasy, are sacred. It's heaven, reminding you that you didn't come here to settle. You came here to shift. Purpose lives on the other side of discomfort. And the reason your spirit has been restless is because you've been mistaking stillness for safety. Comfort lulls you into forgetting. It tells you you've done enough, you've grown enough, you've healed enough. But chosen one, purpose never retires. The divine mission inside you doesn't rest just because your mind wants a break. When you get too comfortable, you stop listening. You stop stretching. You start shrinking to fit environments that were never meant to hold you. That's why God shakes your life every time you start building a nest, where he only meant for you to pass through. The sudden changes, the unexpected endings, the quiet emptiness that shows up when you thought you were finally stable. Those are not attacks. They are divine disruptions. Heaven is making sure you don't die in comfort before you live in purpose. Look back at every major transformation in your life. It didn't start with peace. It started with pressure. It started with losing something you thought you needed. It started with questions you couldn't answer. Because discomfort doesn't destroy you. It discovers you. It reveals what's unshakable within you. That's why every time God promotes you, He first makes you uncomfortable. Chosen one, the hardest part of purpose is letting go of what's good enough. The job that pays but doesn't fulfill. The friendship that feels familiar but drains your spirit. The habits that keep you busy but not growing. The longer you cling to what's comfortable, the further you drift from what's called. God doesn't use comfort to prepare His warriors. He uses contrast. He allows what once satisfied you to lose its flavor so that you'll crave what's real. He lets your spirit outgrow your surroundings so that staying becomes unbearable. That pain you feel when nothing excites you anymore, that's not depression. That's divine dissatisfaction. It's your soul begging for movement. The truth is simple. Comfort doesn't build character. It builds complacency. And complacency is the enemy of calling. You can't carry new anointing in old patterns. You can't host fresh revelation in a stagnant routine. Heaven doesn't pour new oil into full vessels. It breaks them first, empties them, and fills them again. That's why this season feels like shaking. It's not punishment. It's preparation. You keep praying for God to restore your peace, but He's not trying to restore the old peace. He's trying to replace it with divine purpose. The version of peace that comes from comfort is fragile. The version that comes from calling is eternal. Chosen one, your destiny is too big to live small. You weren't chosen to survive. You were chosen to shift atmospheres. But to do that, you must be willing to lose what no longer challenges you. God's purpose doesn't grow in padded rooms. It grows in open fields, wild, unpredictable, and full of faith. So, if your world is shaking, if your plans are unraveling, if your spirit feels stretched, rejoice. Heaven is pulling you out of comfort because you've outgrown this level. Don't resist it. Don't run from it. Don't numb it. Embrace it. Because this pressure is proof that your purpose is waking up again. The next chapter of your life won't require comfort. It will require courage. And once you learn to prefer growth over ease, you'll never mistake comfort for peace again. Chosen one, there is a thin, dangerous line between disobedience and delay. Most people never see it until it's too late, until purpose passes them by quietly, not with thunder, but with silence. God rarely removes blessings instantly. He simply reroutes them toward the obedient. The truth is painful, but necessary. Every time you say "not yet" to what heaven said now, you are standing on that fragile line. You've been telling yourself you're waiting on confirmation, but heaven already gave it. You've been calling it timing, but it's really hesitation dressed in wisdom. Delay always sounds reasonable. It whispers, "I'll do it soon. I just need to feel ready." But God doesn't move by readiness. He moves by obedience. Readiness is a feeling. Obedience is a decision. And the longer you wait, the more the decision decays into disobedience. This is the spiritual trap many chosen ones fall into. The enemy doesn't need to make you rebel. He only needs to make you procrastinate. Because procrastination feels holy when you wrap it in prayer. You say you're seeking guidance, but deep down, you already know what to do. You're not confused. You're afraid. And fear, disguised as patience, will sabotage every divine opportunity that comes your way. God doesn't measure obedience by speed. He measures it by trust. When He speaks, He's not testing your ability to understand. He's testing your willingness to move without seeing. The chosen are not called to walk by proof, but by promise. Every delay is a statement to heaven. I trust my comfort more than your command. You've felt that inner pull lately, haven't you? The conviction that keeps rising even when you try to ignore it. That's God's mercy. The last tug before silence. Because the moment heaven stops convicting, danger begins. Conviction means there's still grace. But when you ignore it too long, the silence that follows is not peace. It's distance. Every delayed instruction carries unseen consequences. There are people you are meant to help, words you are meant to speak, places you are meant to go, and while you wait for perfect timing, they wait for your obedience. You are the answer to someone's prayer, but delay keeps the answer locked inside you. That's the real cost of hesitation. Disobedience and delay don't look the same on the surface, but they share the same root: disbelief. When you delay what God commands, you're silently saying, I don't fully trust that you'll catch me if I jump. But chosen one, every miracle you've ever prayed for lives on the other side of that leap. This is why heaven is pressing you now. God doesn't want your perfection. He wants your participation. He doesn't expect you to know how it will all unfold. He just expects you to move when He says move. Because once the season shifts, the old instructions expire. The door that's open today may not be open tomorrow. Look back at your life for a moment. How many times did you feel the urge to act, to reach out, to create, to step forward, and later realize that the window had closed? That was not bad luck. That was delayed obedience. Destiny doesn't wait forever. Heaven gives moments, not unlimited chances. Chosen one, understand this. Disobedience is saying no, but delay is saying maybe to a God who only honors yes. You don't need more signs. You need more surrender. The Spirit has already spoken. The instructions were clear. The conviction has been constant. The only thing left is movement. Don't confuse peace with pause. True peace often feels like risk when you first step into it. The fear you feel right before obedience is not warning, it's warfare. The enemy knows that once you move, the chain of delay will break forever. That's why he attacks with hesitation. But today, you have a choice, not to be perfect, but to be prompt. You can decide that hesitation ends here, that you will no longer call fear patience, that you will no longer ask for another sign when heaven already gave you one. This moment, chosen one, the window is open. Heaven has repeated this message enough times. Now it's your turn to respond. Don't let tomorrow find you explaining what you could have accomplished today. Because the truth is simple. Disobedience and delay wear different faces, but they share the same outcome: missed destiny. Chosen one, heaven has opened a window, but it will not stay open forever. There are sacred seasons when God aligns your atmosphere, your energy, and your opportunities so precisely that every step feels guided, every word feels timed, and every door seems to know your name. But those moments are not permanent. They are divine intersections, short-lived openings where destiny rushes in. If you miss them, life continues, but purpose pauses. You're standing in one of those moments right now. The shift you've been sensing isn't random. It's prophetic. Heaven has been arranging people, removing distractions, and softening your spirit to prepare you for this exact hour. But God's windows are not invitations to think. They are calls to move. Delay doesn't cancel the promise, but it can postpone the blessing beyond your reach. Every chosen one faces this moment, the moment when obedience must outweigh understanding. You can't analyze your way through a divine window. You can only trust your way through it. The Spirit is whispering, do it now. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because heaven's alignment has a rhythm, and you're either moving with it or missing it. You've probably noticed the pressure, how time feels different lately, how days blur, how everything around you seems to be accelerating. That's because spiritual timelines are converging. The things that took years before are unfolding in days. The opportunities that once felt far away are standing right in front of you, but they won't wait for indecision. Divine timing rewards readiness, not hesitation. God's mercy is infinite, but windows are not. He gives moments of favor, periods when His hand rests heavily on your life, when resistance feels weak and faith feels natural. Those are moments to act, to build, to obey. When you feel that supernatural flow, don't overthink it. That is the sign. Heaven's energy moves fast, and your spirit must match its pace. Chosen one, the enemy knows you're close. That's why distractions have multiplied, why fatigue has increased, why your emotions have been unstable. The warfare is proof that the window is open. The closer you are to breakthrough, the louder the noise becomes. But if you stay focused, even the enemy's chaos will serve as confirmation that you're in divine timing. You may be tempted to say, I'll move when I feel more secure. But the truth is, the longer you wait, the less secure you'll feel. Doubt grows in delay. The window narrows while you're reasoning. By the time you decide, the season may have shifted. Obedience must happen while faith is fresh, because faith has a lifespan. It fades when ignored. This is not meant to scare you. It's meant to awaken you. God isn't punishing. He's prompting. He knows how much you've prayed for this, how many nights you've said, when will it happen? And now heaven answers, it's happening. If you move, if you could see what's waiting on the other side of this obedience, hesitation would die instantly. The relationship, the opportunity, the healing, the revelation, it's all positioned within this window. Heaven is holding the atmosphere open, but it won't hold it forever. Every divine door eventually closes to protect what's sacred from those who wait too long. Look back through Scripture. Noah had a window before the rain fell. Moses had a moment before the sea closed. Esther had a day before the decree went out. Every destiny has a deadline. That's not punishment. It's divine design. Purpose requires timing. Chosen one, this is your window. It's not next year, not next season. Now, the same spirit that's been stirring you is saying, This is the moment you were prepared for. Don't let fear disguise itself as wisdom. Don't let logic talk you out of movement. Logic calculates risk. Faith recognizes opportunity. And when you step through that window, everything will respond. Doors will align. Resources will appear. People will confirm what heaven already decreed. You'll feel time itself cooperating with you. That's the beauty of divine alignment. When you move with heaven, everything moves with you. But if you stay still, the silence that follows won't be peace. It will be distance. Because once the window closes, what's easy today will become heavy tomorrow. That's why God is speaking with urgency. Move while the grace is fresh. This is not just a chance. It's a calling. Not just an opportunity, a threshold. Not just another day, the day that heaven marked for movement. Chosen one, don't let this pass you by. The window is open, but not for long. Chosen one, there comes a moment in every divine journey when fighting no longer works. When your strength is exhausted, your plans collapse, and your spirit finally whispers, "I can't do this my way anymore." That's not defeat. That's destiny. Because the moment you surrender is the moment heaven steps in. Every divine story pivots on surrender. It's where human effort ends and divine orchestration begins. You've been carrying too much for too long. Trying to fix what only faith can heal. Trying to control what only surrender can align. You've prayed, but you haven't released. You've trusted, but only until fear spoke again. God has watched you wrestle, not because he enjoys your struggle, but because he's waiting for that sacred moment when you finally stop striving and start yielding. Surrender isn't giving up. It's giving in to divine rhythm. It's saying, "God, I trust you more than I trust my understanding." It's not passivity, it's partnership. Heaven doesn't work through chaos, it flows through clarity. And clarity only comes when your spirit stops fighting what's already finished in the unseen. Right now, the tension you feel between peace and panic is spiritual tug-of-war. You're trying to hold on to control while God is trying to hand you transformation. That's why everything feels heavier. It's not the weight of failure, it's the resistance of surrender. When you finally let go, the weight won't just lessen, it will lift. Chosen one, God doesn't need your perfection, he needs your permission. Your willingness to say, "Do what you must, even if I don't understand it." That's the language heaven responds to. Because true faith isn't proven when you receive what you want. It's proven when you trust God, even when he rewrites what you planned. You've prayed for breakthrough, but breakthrough doesn't come to those who control. It comes to those who yield. Sometimes, surrender looks like walking away from something you still want. Sometimes, it's forgiving someone who won't apologize. Sometimes it's staying silent when your pride wants to defend. These are not losses, they're openings. They create the spiritual space where miracles land. Every major transformation begins with a quiet collapse. When the chosen one finally says, "God, I can't hold this anymore," and heaven answers, "Good. Now I can." That's why your breakdown felt so intense lately. It wasn't destruction, it was dismantling. God wasn't taking your life apart. He was taking you out of what no longer served your life. When you surrender, something shifts instantly. The same situations that felt confusing begin to make sense. The same delays that frustrated you begin to reveal purpose. You start to see how everything was never falling apart. It was falling into place. Heaven doesn't rebuild using old blueprints. It constructs your future from obedience, not fear. You'll know surrender has truly happened when peace returns without explanation. When you stop checking outcomes, stop chasing validation, stop needing proof. Because surrender is not a moment of emotion. It's a posture of spirit. It's when your faith no longer demands answers. It simply abides in assurance. Chosen one, this is the hour of surrender, the moment where your spirit finally stops fighting and starts flowing. Don't mistake silence for absence. Heaven is moving more in your stillness than it ever did in your striving. When you surrender, the noise stops. The storm quiets. And you hear the whisper again, "I've got it from here." And from that moment on, everything changes. Because what obedience begins, surrender completes. God doesn't want your exhaustion. He wants your agreement. He doesn't want your fight. He wants your flow. He doesn't want your strength. He wants your stillness. Let go of what's no longer yours to carry. Release what you've been forcing to happen. Stop replaying what didn't work. Heaven has heard enough prayers about it. Now it's waiting for your release. Chosen one, this is your moment. Not to do more, but to let go. Because the second you surrender, the weight breaks and the miracle begins. Chosen one, this is the final warning, the moment where heaven leans close and whispers what your soul has always known. You are running out of time to keep missing what was meant for you. God has been patient, merciful and gentle, but divine patience is not permission to stay asleep. The window is open. The instructions are clear, and the weight in your chest is confirmation that heaven is waiting for your movement. Every chosen one reaches a point like this, the intersection between destiny and decision. The place where grace still speaks, but delay begins to sound like defiance. This is that place for you. You can't pretend you didn't hear the call anymore. You can't numb it with distraction or explain it away as coincidence. God has repeated this message too many times to be ignored again. You know what you're supposed to release. You know what you're supposed to start. You know what your spirit has been pushing toward, but your mind has been resisting. The reason you're exhausted isn't because you're doing too much. It's because you're doing what heaven never asked of you. When you move against alignment, even blessings feel heavy. Chosen one, you were never created to live halfway awake. You carry divine assignments written into your very essence. You can feel them stirring when you pray, when you dream, when you sit in silence long enough to listen. That pull toward more, that's not ambition, it's remembrance. Your soul remembers what it was called to do before the noise of the world taught you to settle. If you keep running from your calling, life will keep repeating lessons until you listen. The same patterns, the same faces, the same heartbreak in new forms. Not punishment, but mercy. God is saying, you didn't miss it. I'm giving you another chance. But even mercy has a moment. Even grace has a gate that closes when time runs out. The truth you've been avoiding is this. Heaven has already prepared everything you've prayed for. The resources, the opportunities, the help, they exist. They're waiting on your obedience, not your understanding. Every delay you make keeps someone else waiting for the blessing that only you can release. The longer you hide, the more the world misses what you were born to give. There's a version of you on the other side of this fear, fearless, clear, radiant, walking in rhythm with God. That version isn't a fantasy, it's your next reality. But you can't become it while clinging to who you were. You must let the old version of you die. The one who doubted, the one who waited, the one who questioned every instruction. Heaven cannot pour new oil into an old vessel. If you want to know what obedience looks like, it looks like this. Movement without explanation. Saying yes before knowing how. Walking through the door before seeing what's behind it. Every miracle in Scripture began with that same pattern. Someone who moved when God said, move. Every tragedy began with hesitation. This is your last checkpoint before acceleration. God is giving you one final invitation before the chapter turns. If you stay, comfort will become confusion. But if you go, obedience will become overflow. The choice is yours. Don't miss what was meant for you because you wanted control more than calling. Don't lose the life you were meant to live because you feared the leap. Heaven isn't asking for perfection. It's asking for participation. The moment you move, alignment will begin. Doors will unlock. Peace will return. Strength will rise. Chosen one, this is not the time to question. It's the time to respond. You've asked for signs. They've been everywhere. You've prayed for clarity. It's been here all along. The rest is up to you. God is saying, I've prepared it, but I won't force it. You must choose it. And when you do, when you finally move, release, surrender, you'll look back and realize heaven wasn't late. You were just hesitating. This is the moment that separates the watchers from the warriors, the dreamers from the doers, the called from the chosen. Don't miss what was meant for you. Don't let fear rewrite what faith already finished. Don't waste another sunrise pretending you didn't hear him. Heaven has spoken. The rest is silence until you act.